Well, you know, the old Mozzie, my arch nemesis, that other, what's his name, Whittaker, Bobby Knuckles. I knocked him out twice with one fast last night.
Adesanya trying to close it out. Israel Adesanya is the undisputed king of the middleweights.
The performance against Robert Whittaker was out of this world, and from the entrance to the fight to the exit, Israel just did everything right.
Man, oh! Two early knockdowns for Whittaker. Oh, Tomorrow's the go! Robert Whittaker!
Whittaker is a fucking animal. Great personality. He's fun. I mean, he fights with as much skill as we've ever seen a striker. I mean, he's Anderson Silva 2.0.
Israel Adesanya versus Robert Whittaker. Hello, MMA fans of MMA Inside. Today, we are going to talk about the best UFC fight that will take place in a while, and perhaps one of the greatest in middleweight yet again. Well, what can get better than this when the best of the division come up against each other, and it happens once again when Adesanya faces Robert Whittaker. All eyes in the MMA world now turn to 2022 and the biggest fights that will take place in the new year. As yet again, UFC comes up with the best that its middleweight division can offer. What can get better than a champion like Israel Adesanya goes toe-to-toe with Robert Whittaker? This is their second meeting, and obviously, the UFC middleweight title fight headlines a pay-per-view card from the Toyota Center in Houston on February 12th. Adesanya has been absolutely a delight at middleweight, with his only dent on the career coming after the weight upshift to light heavyweight. For everything else, he has been an absolute monster in his own division. The last stylebender has a record of 21 wins to 1 loss and enters this title defense with a 10-0 middleweight record, eliminating elite 185-pounders like Marvin Vettori twice, Paulo Costa, Yoel Romero, Kelvin Gastelum, Derek Brunson, and Anderson Silva. Then, of course, there is the man he rolled over to win the UFC middleweight crown. Whittaker appeared poised to build himself a compelling case as UFC's second greatest middleweight champion, just behind the legendary Spider Silva. That spark was short-lived after being outclassed and knocked out by Adesanya in front of Whittaker's Australian faithful.
Gotta be very careful.
Whittaker nearly out on his feet. Adesanya trying to close it out. Israel Adesanya is the undisputed king of the middleweights.
The former champion defended his #1 contender's position with consecutive wins over Gastelum, Jared Cannonier, and Darren Till, which just came in an events one after the other. For Adesanya, the chance to further cement his place as this generation's greatest middleweight fighter. For the Reaper, a chance to redeem the ultimate greatness from the man who stripped him. What's the change from the previous bout? It's notable that these fighters have matched the fist in the octagon. In their last meeting in the octagon, Adesanya knocked out Whittaker in front of 57,000 fans at Melbourne's Marvel Stadium back in October 2019. At UFC 243, with Adesanya claiming the title in a legendary performance, scoring a second-round knockout of the then-champion, aka Robert Whittaker. Even being knocked out by Adesanya in their last bout, Whittaker rebounded from the loss and has left no doubt in the minds of UFC matchmakers that he deserves a rematch, as Whittaker has also secured 3 wins of his own since the loss, all over top-tier opponents of the division, and as a result, fans are thrilled at the potential a rematch offers. And it's not just fans that are excited, the champion is also extremely focused on making a statement in this rematch. On the other hand, Adesanya has only 1 loss in his professional MMA career, which came against Jan Blachowicz for the light heavyweight belt in early 2021.
For the winner, and still the undisputed UFC light heavyweight champion of the world.
It has been over 2 years since the first meeting at UFC 243 in 2019. Still, none of the fighters have slipped out of their primes. Since the first matchup, Adesanya and Whittaker have clashed, not just inside the octagon, but also with their personalities and shared desire to be the top dog, creating obvious friction between the two. Before they fought the first time, Whittaker was dismissive of Adesanya's resume and striking skills, and even after they fought, both men continued to take shots at one another, with Adesanya repeatedly espousing a lack of interest in a rematch, and Whittaker calling Adesanya a shithead.
He's a shithead. Yeah, that sounds better. He's a shithead. I don't like him. He doesn't like me. We just like that.
But despite his personal opinions about Adesanya, Whittaker has admitted that the last style bender got in his head the first time they fought and won cleanly.
Because the last fight I was kind of very emotional. I was in a bad place for the sport itself, for my career, and I got a bit emotional in that fight.
Something that Adesanya's other recent victims, Marvin Vettori and Paulo Costa, have both denied. Humiliation in the minute pieces, Adesanya says, is the reason why he finally came around to rematching Whittaker, and now he intends to prove it wasn't just a once-in-a-lifetime. What did Adesanya say about the matchup?
Accepted his loss. He finally admitted that was in his head, that he was emotional, and I was like, yeah, you're finally admitting what I was saying this whole fucking time. So that makes me take him seriously. Like, he's accepted that, so that makes me take him seriously. That, okay, he's got a point to prove as well. And he's been training, he's motivated. That gets me up in the morning. And to shut him up again, worse than the first time, that's what gets me motivated.
Regardless of who comes out as the winner, this fight will be an absolute treat to watch for the fans of MMA and all fight fans around the world. So that's enough from us today. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to subscribe. And hey, stay tuned. We will update you with the latest news in the MMA universe.